Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-888-88-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That's me, along with Barry the Boater. And our special guest round out the crew today. We got James, Captain James from the Florida Keys. We're going to, yeah, it's good to have him. Mike the Mariner is taking a break today, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. But what do you say, Barry? What?
Should be here with us.
Well, he should be, but he has other things going on. I mean, he only had a month off, and that wasn't enough for him to tolerate. Yeah, I mean, the last few weeks have been were pre-produced shows because I was traveling for the entire month.
Yeah, you were in Australia, right?
Australia and New Zealand. And
Awesome.
man, did I have a great time. Had an amazing adventure. And we got to talk about me because that's kind of what we do on this show. I was climbing through my attic for 2 days, pulling a cable just so you wouldn't complain about my internet connection anymore. Yeah, well, about damn time. And so now we can hear Barry much more clearly here on the World of Boating, and I will apologize in advance for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I took a month off. I didn't really talk anything about boating, diving, radio, anything. I literally decompressed for an entire month in Australia and New Zealand, and it was quite an adventure. But, you know, it's almost impossible to not have some, boating adventures cross my path and pop into my head and like, well, hey, we got to talk about this because I was on a cruise ship for almost 2 weeks. I was just traveling around from, city to city in Australia. It was basically a land tour in Australia and a boat tour in New Zealand. But I did some boating in Australia as well. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do, I am going to defer to Captain James because, we did have him on. I don't know if it was last week or the week before for one of those shows that we had to pre-produce because he just got a new boat. And last time we spoke with him, he had had an insurance claim on the boat that he had that sank, and he got a new one, got a great deal on it. And we talked about that, and he was waiting to get all the Coast Guard and insurance and everything squared away so he could start running his charter business again. And that has happened since the last time we spoke. Is that right, James?
Happy to say it's all set and done. I got everything all squared away. I actually just got my actual physical license in the mail like an hour ago.
Okay. Well, okay. I was going to say, have you actually taken it out on a charter yet? But I guess not. It'll be this coming week.
So they were doing this thing where they were giving us an extension because of the government shutdown.
Okay.
I had sent in all my paperwork back in like November and got no response because the government shut down. Resubmitted it again in December, no response, government shut down again.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up going with this company called MMCs, MMSEAS.
Yeah.
And they did the whole, put it all through the Coast Guard and everything like that. And when the Coast Guard, again, started messing up, they fought for me and they did a really good job. A really, really good job. I mean, they actually told me that they highlighted my case as an example of the new system failing mariners. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's true, though. I mean, in a sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Within 2 days, I'm sorry, I got my cat just like trying to climb all over my lap right now.
Well, that's what they do. That's fine.
Yeah. But within 2 days, they had already, they had approved the whole thing. It was all said and done. And, meanwhile, it was close to 4 months before that.
How about that? I don't know what to think about that, Barry. I mean, this is a whole nother discussion for a different show, probably. But you talk. Well, the government shutdown of that sector of the government is still unfunded. And when I was traveling, I came back and I have Global Entry, and Global Entry's been shut down because of this as well. And I came back into the States. I'm like, oh crap, because
You're
I saw
not
all
really
the.
here then? You're just a ghost or something?
No, I got back into the airport there in L.A. and I saw the signs that they had pulled down Global Entry, and I'm like, great, I'm gonna have to sit here and wait an extra hour because I have this.
Oh, okay. You had to
but
sit for an extra
No, I
hour.
didn't. I
Oh.
zipped right through security. It was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Wait, they're still
said,
able
"You're
to manage
Greg."
this quick enough, and
Mhm.
there was no wait at all. So I'm
Wow,
like,
so it worked out.
it worked out, which may not say a lot for how the government is run. If they can run that efficiently when everything's shut down, it's kind of question mark whether or not we needed it in the
Well,
first
they
place.
probably
maybe.
looked it up, said, let's see, Greg, the dive master.
yeah,
Greg,
they
the
would have made
boater,
me
Greg,
wait if
the
they would have.
airplane man.
You know,
They looked at certifications. They were like, you're good.
I'm on a bunch of people's
No.
lists.
Then
trust
they
me.
have to do, a full body cavity search.
Yeah, well, only when I request. But
He requests every time he comes back.
I was surprised how
Every time.
efficiently I got through TSA or security and border control. It was very efficient. I'm like, okay, well, what does that say about how the government is run? Maybe a lot of that is a little bit of fat. And in your case, it worked to your advantage as well. So go figure. I don't know what to say
Exactly.
about that. That's just two little small anecdotes. I don't want to paint a broad brush and say that we don't need all
So-
this stuff, but at least it's working. They're working, finding workarounds for the problems that this could potentially cause for boaters and things. Yes, Barry.
But you're a going concern. You were a business already in business. You just
Exactly.
had a boat sink and you had to get another boat. So what is it that you had to go through to make this boat? I mean, it was already seaworthy. Was it just to do an inspection of it or what?
Well, yeah. So when I did the inspection on the boat, this boat is far outside of any league of anything that I've owned previously.
Right.
It's been really well maintained, really well taken care of. It's all up to ABYC yacht standards. It's very, very well done. Sorry, the cat. But anyway, it's when I had the insurance survey done, they were like basically looking for anything they could possibly find. So there was a couple items on the list that were like, for instance, my overhead lights were still they weren't LED, so they got a little bit warm,
Mhm.
and they didn't like that on the insurance survey. They were just trying to find anything they could find to put
course.
something of notation on the survey, and so of course I had to go through and do all that stuff. My fire extinguishers were out of date. I had to replace the whole Fireboy system and put all new stuff in there. So after the insurance came through and I spent all that money on that, then I had to spend another probably about $6,000. So
Wait,
Yeah.
$6,000 getting the Coast Guard cert?
not necessarily Coast Guard cert, because I'm an undocumented vessel.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But it's more so just that for my insurance, they needed me to have all the things that were listed on my survey taken care of, or at least in the process of being taken care of. And it turned into a whole rigmarole, and I'm finally done with it. I'm finally going fishing. We're catching a lot of fish. It's been great.
Well, there you go. That's the bottom line.
So
made it work.
it isn't like you had to reapply for a license or anything through the Coast Guard. It was more the insurance dealing with them.
Well, no, so my Coast Guard license, my renewal was up
Yeah.
at nearly
Oh.
the same time. But so the boat sank, and then a
Yeah.
month later, my license was up.
Coming
And
from all
this
ends.
whole
Yeah.
thing just kept on, raining down on me. But it's
You-
finally all sorted.
Yeah. Well,
You,
that's the
you
bottom
just
line.
go over to the local bar, and there are plenty of them down there, and you just spend those days sitting there drinking until your license comes in.
Pretty
Well,
much.
Yeah.
Pretty
well,
much.
You
see?
could do that as a
Yeah.
typical sailor.
Lazy
might do.
days. There you go.
Down
Oh,
there in
man.
the Keys. All right, but the
Yeah.
fish are biting, huh? What's
my
biting
ex-owns
right
that
now?
place. I can't go there.
What's
Oh, you
biting down
can't go
there in the Keys right now, James? What kind of critters are you catching?
A lot of sailfish.
Yeah.
Yellowtail have been pretty decent.
All right.
If you're good, they're decent.
All right.
If you're
And if
bad,
you
not
want
that
to
great.
book James's charter, what's the website again?
It's bugsportfishing.com.
right.
BUG Sportfishing.
There you go. He's back in business, and he knows where to find the fish, and that's all that matters. All right, we got more coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Welcome aboard. I will be your captain. You'll be my scallywags. I don't know what that means, but you will be them. And here's how we play.
Thank you for your attention and welcome aboard.
Let's go.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me along with Barry the Boater, rounding out the crew as we attempt to navigate the latest boating news and information and just share thoughts on my latest adventure on the other side of the world. I actually come to you from the future. You know, I was 48 hours ago, I was in New Zealand in the future, Barry. And
so you were a day in the future, but you've gone back to the past.
Yes, I went back in time.
So then you must know the lotto numbers for yesterday.
Yes, I got them. And I didn't write them down correctly because I'm doing the show today. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is what it is.
And you didn't get me a video of the toilet flushing backwards. I'm very unhappy.
I know. That was your one request that I promptly filed in
it costs nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Here's the problem. It wasn't a lack of trying because I did look. And, you know, they've modified all their toilets in Australia and New Zealand. Unless you go to a really ancient public restroom, they're all those jet blast things that don't kind of rotate counterclockwise anymore.
So they're the ones that'll suck the hairs off of your...
Yeah, my group kept asking me, why do you keep going to the restroom and checking out the toilets? I'm like, well...
Well, you tried.
I have digestive issues. No, I just need to film a video for Barry, I can't find the proper toilet.
Well, they say the water does go in clockwise.
Yeah. Whatever.
What about if you drained the sink? You would have done the same thing.
Oh, now you tell me.
Sink.
I could have done it in the sink.
Oh, you didn't think about that?
No,
yeah.
I didn't bother. I was focused on other things. Basically, you know, just taking my mind off of having to work with Barry.
You said you were on a boat or a ship?
I was on a celebrity cruise ship in New Zealand for 2 weeks, and then we did
they're there.
Land. Well, actually, we took the cruise ship from Sydney, Australia, and then it went across the waterway to New Zealand, and then we went around New Zealand for a couple weeks on the cruise ship. So,
Okay, so you stayed on the ship and went to different ports around New
Yes.
Zealand?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and
Because on the map, it doesn't look like they're very far apart. So
I mean, they're a good haul. I mean,
Really?
yeah, I mean, I forget how many 100 miles, a few 100 miles at least. I mean, it took a day or two or 3 sea days, I think, to start to get to the coast of New Zealand from Australia on the cruise ship.
Oh.
So, it's not like they're right next to each other, but
Must be
Australia.
an old steam paddle wheeler
Well,
then, right?
Australia and New Zealand, I mean, the people that live on those different islands or land masses, that's their number one vacation hub. So the people in New Zealand go to Australia. Australia's folks
They
go to New Zealand, and they have a lot of similarities. They talk funny. Good eye,
Well,
mate. Yeah, and I will say the Australians in particular, I found very entertaining. And and just in a broad brush stereotype type of thing to kind of make a statement that's probably inappropriate and politically incorrect, which is kind of what I do.
Yeah.
I would say, to me, the New Zealand people were super nice, but the Australian people, there's a little extra edge to them. It's almost like Southern hospitality in Australia. They have a little bit of kind of a redneckish kind of, and I mean that in a positive way, believe it or not.
Well, they talk
I mean-
about the outback all the time and going out in there and exploring and
Yeah,
I think
they're a little
every
bit
animal
more.
out there is there to kill you. They say all the animals
Right.
out here will kill you.
Yeah, they're a little bit more outgoing, I think. Just
Okay.
and I know that's it depends on who you run into. All the people in New Zealand were awesome too. Don't get me wrong, but there's something
Yeah.
else about the folks in Australia. It just makes it a little bit more entertaining with the people that I've come across on my travels, and they just have a little bit more of a, like I said, it's almost like going to the
Well-
South and meeting some friendly Southern hospitality folks. Like, hey, come on down, have some fun
Come on
with
down,
us.
have a beer and have
But they
some shrimp
talk
on
like,
the barbie.
hey, come on over here, mate. I'll show you a good
That's pretty
drink right
good.
here. And, but it was great. And, as far as what they have, it's interesting. You mentioned Australia. They got so many things that can kill you. Not to mention all, the sharks and, we went to a beach where you couldn't swim unless you stayed
Because?
inside this netted swimming area that they created on the beach. It was a beautiful beach, but it was closed to swimming because of the box jellyfish and great whites.
Yeah, the box jellyfish I hear about are really poisonous, really
Yeah.
little, and I mean, dang.
Well, great whites, bull sharks, whatever, they got them all, but they literally, there's signs all over, no swimming. Oh, and not to mention the saltwater crocs. That was the one I didn't expect to see at the
We
beach.
have those here. You know that.
Not the
Down
same.
in Key Largo.
They're not the
Well,
same.
No,
Totally
they're not
different.
As big. Oh,
they
they're-
are massive in
they're
Australia.
massive. Yeah.
But being in Florida, we're not used to seeing, signs, no swimming because of the saltwater crocs,
Mm-hmm.
sharks, and jellyfish. So they set up these netted areas that are not huge, but they block it off with a big net and create the swimming area. So it's it's kind of and then you go to New Zealand and they got none of this. I mean, there's like nothing. Even the spiders and snakes are non-poisonous. They, you can walk through the deep woods in New Zealand and
nothing
in your
happens.
bare feet.
You think maybe it was built by Disney?
Yeah, exactly. It's really
Yeah,
it's a very
it's-
odd dynamic because when you walk through some of the rainforest areas in both countries, they kind of look a little similar. They share some of the same fauna and stuff, especially when you get into the rainforest areas of each continent. But yeah, Australia has. I mean, you can't walk through the woods or the rainforest without the plants attacking you because they're poisonous. I mean, crazy how much stuff they have, and New Zealand's exactly the opposite. So I don't know how that came to be in that sense, but it is what it is. Maybe that explains why the Aussies seem a little bit more jovial because they have to laugh this stuff off to
Yeah,
distract them
yeah.
from all the
The-
stuff that's trying to kill them every
Exactly.
day. But as far as boating goes, we were on several vessels on our travels for both. I did some like river cruise type things in Australia, down through the waterways of let's see, where were we? Was it Cairns? Or
Like a
Sydney?
jungle cruise type thing?
No,
a
there was
day-
one. No, it's like they got a river that goes right through the main town. It might
Uh-huh.
have been Melbourne, actually. Melbourne, they kind of call it. But a lot of the cities will have a waterway that goes right through the middle of the town, and they'll have those, city tours you can hop on, and they'll give you the whole tour and how the city came to be. and
like
all
a
that
boat
stuff.
taxi.
Yeah.
But it's yeah.
Well, it's a nice little river cruise.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you about the local, life and cityscape. Really, really nice, relaxing tour type of stuff in Australia is what we did.
I've known 2 yacht captains from Australia. They were both clients of mine, and apparently yachting. They create a lot of boat or yacht captains over in Australia. Boating's a very big thing down there.
Oh yeah, they
What
were all
did you
over the
see?
place.
Oh,
And
yeah?
they don't, you want to be on a boat. You don't want to be in the water. I mean,
Yeah, well, it'll kill you.
the saltwater crocs. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then get into New Zealand cruising next on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Who are you?
We're from the State Mental Institution. We chartered the boat. We're going to go fishing, and that's all there is to it.
But I won't cry myself to sleep, 'cause my soul no longer weeps, but my body lies in the heart of the sea.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the boater around and out the crew as we attempt to navigate the latest boating news and information and talk about my adventure in Australia and New Zealand. Now, just to wrap up Australia, like I said, I've had a few river cruise adventures and, saw boats all over the place. I mean, we were all along the coast around, Sydney, Queensland, Melbourne, which they say Melbourne is kind of how they say it.
Melbourne.
By the way, if you want to be in the know.
Okay.
And then we did go to the interior, did the Outback, Ayers Rock, or Uluru is what they call it now. There are a lot of flies. I prefer the coastal areas of Australia as opposed to the interior. It was hot, and there were flies everywhere, Barry. So let that be a lesson. If you go down under, you want to go to the coast. They have, just amazing things. Actually, we were supposed to dive the Great Barrier Reef too. But it ended up my wife got sick that day, so I had to skip it. So I went all the way to Australia. I didn't even snorkel the Great Barrier Reef.
So that's your excuse for the scuba show then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll see how
Sounds
much
pretty lame.
ball busting I get for that. But
you'll get a
I'm
lot.
expecting it.
It's
but
not
but it's
often you get to fly over to Australia. So.
right. But those saltwater crocs. So we went to like like a wildlife preserve where they were showcasing these things, and it was impressive. We're in Florida, and we're used to gators and even saltwater crocs or freshwater saltwater crocs. I don't know what they call them down
No,
there.
we have saltwater crocs down near Lake
But they're
Surprise,
nothing
which is no,
like-
they're not as big. Yeah, they have. We
The,
have
the
little,
saltwater crocs, literally, they said they do eat people. I mean, it's
well,
like
look at
in
when
Australia.
you're saying big, what 15 foot, 14
Yes.
footers? Yeah,
Yeah, but
That's like
they
the
go
really
out of their
big
way.
alligators.
They are known to attack people. Like we're on their
on their menu
plate.
list.
Is how they describe it. But there was one in a pen, and the thing was massive underwater. And then they did the whole thing where they put it like a piece of chicken on a rope and had it jump out of the water. And like, what the hell? And
Steve Irwin's son they have a zoo there too.
yes, and I saw him on Australian TV quite a bit. He was hosting Australian Survivor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a big, big
I guess
deal over
anyone
there.
that survives Australia is automatically a survivor.
I guess so.
Right?
Maybe. Yeah.
I swam with the box jellyfish and not one stung me.
Crikey.
Yes.
And, he's kind of a thing.
What
Well,
kind
yeah.
of beer do they drink there?
Not Foster's. I did not see one Foster's anywhere.
Really? So it's all American bulls.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we actually hit a bunch of Irish pubs, believe it or not. I mean, Australia overall, it is like a mishmash of the UK. They got all the stuff.
It was a penitentiary essentially for everyone that weren't allowed in England. They were just tossing them over to
sent
Australia.
All their criminals were released
Yeah.
in Australia. Yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of their roots. That and the Aboriginal folk or whatever that lived there.
Who were already there.
Yeah, but
sounds
it's a whole
familiar.
thing. It's kind of interesting. They got the McDonald's, they got KFC, which the Aussie that we were interacting with, he referred to KFC as Dirty Bird. So another little Australian thing to kind of, if you want.
Did you
fried
try
chicken?
it just to see if it tasted
Oh,
the same?
hell no.
Okay, then how do you know? I mean,
No, that's that's how they refer to KFC.
Bird.
They call it Dirty Bird.
You tell them
Yeah.
they eat iguanas in Florida now?
Yeah, I ate a lot of fish and chips because they have that's like their fast food. That's way more popular than I think Mickey D's and
Yeah, but
Dirty
Gre- that's-
Bird and all
that's-
them.
That's
But they got
cooked
it
in
all.
Grease.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but they were good. Every fish and chips I got was amazing. I'm like, what is
I'll
the
bet
deal?
your cardiologist is going to talk to you about that
Maybe,
one.
but
Yeah.
they were tasty. The fries were super. I did not have one bad tasting French fry in Australia, let alone New Zealand. Same thing. I don't know. There's something weird about how they do their fish and
Everything's
chips.
different there. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but they're consistently excellent. So go figure. They got something figured out with the fish and chips, but that's a whole nother thing. It has nothing to do with boating. Let's get back focused on what you can do in Australia. I mean, obviously they had sailboats up the wazoo all over Australia. We did the city tours, and pretty much every city had a waterway nearby where they were
Right.
running tours where you can go see the city from the water front and enjoy the views. And there was plenty to see in that regard. But when we got over to New Zealand on the cruise ship, the one thing that I did not know about New Zealand, first off, their airport is the windiest airport supposedly in the world. You think of the windy city, Chicago.
Right.
They're I don't know if it was Auckland or one of the cities in New Zealand is windier than Chicago. So it's like the number one windiest city in the world. So they have this constant flow of trade winds, and you could see that out on the water because there were hundreds of sailboats anchored off at every port in New Zealand. I mean, very picturesque. And they got the wind farms up in the mountains, which
Oh, they do?
yeah, they're very efficient supposedly because of that consistent wind. And
Yeah.
they still said the most consistent wind farm in the world, and it operates at 60%. I don't know what to make of that, but I will tell you that it kind of ruins the view. I'm not against wind power. Don't get me wrong, but man, you look on one side and you see this amazing landscape, kind of reminds you of the Sound of Music or the hills in Ireland, and then you're looking out over the water and the mountains of New Zealand, and then you look to the left and you see like 30 windmills of
All
those wide
spinning
big
away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
I
white
guess.
things, and they just look. I mean, it does kind of ruin the scenery.
Could have been smokestacks with smoke billowing out
Well,
of it.
I mean, I wouldn't
poisoning
be
the
a
air.
fan of that either. But I mean, it
Yeah,
does kind
so
of bastardize the landscape a little bit.
that's just that's the future. You're seeing the future, wind farms and solar and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Well, I guess. I mean, we'll see what happens. But I mean, man, the scenery in New Zealand spectacular.
All the buildings are they old? Like there's a lot of you go to Europe and everything is old because hundreds,
no.
thousands.
New
of years.
Zealand- New
Everything's
Zealand-
new there, isn't
Well,
it?
a lot of. I mean, it's a volcanic island, so they've had earthquakes. It totally demolished cities. So the cityscape is pretty new compared to even what we have in the States in that
Yeah.
regard when you get to a lot of the cities and stuff. So it's very modern, but you drive out of town and you get into these rolling hills and things, and it's just Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, they had the
all
set
that
out
stuff.
there.
I mean, it's just mind blowing views. For sure. And from the water, I mean, just as spectacular because, these mountains and volcanic, landscapes are just jettisoning up straight out of the water, creating, just dramatic views. Would
Wow.
make amazing sailing, but
How did the water
challenging.
look? Was it
was the way-
clear? Was it
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a lot of blue water?
No, it was, I mean, they're very environmentally, sensitive there and, maybe a little too much, depending on your perspective. I mean, I've never seen more signs than any other place on the planet than in New Zealand. They had a sign for everything, and you
Right.
kind of had to understand have someone explain to you what is this supposed to mean, And it's just it was kind of weird. It was a little too many signs, but whatever. Like I said, they got to protect what they love, which is, tourism is a big part of New Zealand and their economy. So would I go there again? Yeah. And I'll give you a few ideas of what you could do next on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
The word ship is hidden inside the word leadership as its derivation. So, if this office is in fact a ship, as its leader, I am the captain. But we're all in the same boat.
Aye, aye, Captain. Captain, please, can you see my fire? Message in a bottle, starboard side.
This is the World of Boating. Gregor First Mayberry, the boater, rounding out the crew. All right, so would I go back to Australia and New Zealand and maybe do more diving and boating activities? Absolutely. That wasn't the purpose of this adventure. This was basically a way to just visit those two countries for the first time, really. I'd been to Australia like 20 years ago and always wanted to go back. But I didn't do any diving, which is what I typically do. I literally put all that out of my head. I just wanted to go see the people, see different cities, waterfront areas, but not really do anything much on the water other than pop on a few boats and play tourist. And then I hopped on a cruise ship in Sydney, Australia, and that took us 2 weeks around the coastal cities of New Zealand. And would I go back to both? Yeah, definitely Australia. New Zealand, I would go back. I mean, just the scenery is mind-blowing for sure. One of the unique things about doing that, going to New Zealand, they got glowworms in caves. And like
so you don't need a flashlight. You just pick up a worm.
Well, you don't pick them up. They're tiny. They're on the ceiling. And when you look up at the ceiling of a glowworm cave, it looks like you're looking at the stars. It's pretty
Really?
wild. Yeah, it's pretty freaky. And supposedly, it's the only place on the world where they have these. It's very common in New Zealand, but these glowworms, they're very tiny, not maybe a half an inch long, if that. And they
So
hang
you
from the
took-
ceiling. They glow, and they catch bugs and stuff from a little stream that comes into the cave, and then the larvae, the flies and crap that insects that they eat. They hatch in the water, and then they look up and like, oh, there's the sky, and they fly to the sky, and they get eaten by these
They get
glowworms.
eaten. The smart worms.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
weird.
took a ship over, but you said it's very windy. So what are the seas like? Are they rough out there?
They were we experienced in the cruise ship at least 10 to 12 footers.
Whoa, that's a rough ship.
Yeah.
How did the
And
ship handle it?
it did quite well. I mean, it rolled a little bit here and there, but it's a fairly modern vessel. We were on the Celebrity Edge, which is a pretty decent size cruise
Mhm.
ship. It's not the biggest for sure. Bigger is better when it comes to big seas. But these modern boats, they've got so much great technology to keep the stabilizers and handle these seas. I mean, other than it rolling a little bit during the
So-
rough times, and actually we did have a couple afternoons or evenings where there was pushing 15 footers. I mean, it got
Wow.
pretty crazy a couple times, but very short lived runs, and that was mostly from one crossing from one city or to another, or we'd hit a squall in between cities and things like that. But the boats handle it so well, unless you're a total wuss. You're not going
Well-
to get sick. I mean, I used to puke like crazy. I've never got sick on a cruise ship, I'll be honest.
Okay.
But back in the day, Barry knows, they
Yeah, I know.
used to call me the chunkster.
We
But,
still do.
But unless you're really, really susceptible to cruise, getting sick on a big cruise ship, I think it's really difficult. But people do. I mean,
Well,
it just
so-
depends.
Some ships are more ocean going. I know a lot of them that I see over here that do the Caribbean route. Usually it's pretty smooth seas, and they look, instead of ships, they almost look like giant boxes with hundreds and hundreds of little apartments on
Yeah.
each side.
Well,
So
that's
is
the
that
case.
what you were on over there
yeah,
too?
Of course. And the thing is, though, size matters. The bigger cruise ship, the less likely the seas are going to affect the boat. I mean, it's just physics, right? But I'm telling you, if you're at all weary of booking a cruise because you've never done it, or you have seasick issues, even on your own vessel, and you're thinking, oh, God, I'd never want to deal with this for a week, it really is not even
is
remotely close to
Okay.
being on a 50-foot cruiser. I mean, it's a different experience. And the newer boats, that would be my advice. If you're concerned at all about the boat rocking or experiencing bigger seas, and could that create a problem? You've seen the videos on YouTube and stuff, and furniture flying. Trust me, the newer boats, just book the newest boat possible, because they got so much crazy technology on these vessels, especially the newer ones. They handle really massive seas incredibly well. I don't know what it is, whether it's stabilizers or what, but when you look out the window, like I said a couple times during our 2-week run through New Zealand, we had some pretty rough seas, and I look out the window like, holy crap, it's just rocking like this. Look at that. I'd be dying.
And
out
it was
there on a
summer
50-footer.
over there, right?
Yeah, well, it's going into fall, I think, or coming
It's
out
going
of
into
summer.
fall there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had great conditions at each port, but every once in a while, in between, when we were doing a crossing, we had some of those seas. So that'd be my advice: book as new a boat as possible, because they'll have the latest and greatest, technology when it comes to stabilization and stuff. And a perfect example of that, and this is kind of in the same category as what the Virgin Cruises are doing, because they're relatively new. This Celebrity Edge, I think it's like 18 years old, maybe thereabouts. So it's a little older, not much, but it's very similar in size to like the Virgin Cruise fleet, which I've been on a lot.
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller ships than some of the really huge,
exactly,
mega monsters
like
I see
Icon
out
of
of
the
Port
Seas,
Miami. Yeah,
with Royal Caribbean. Those things are, I mean, you fit probably 2 of these in one of those boats.
Right, but that's
maybe
what I'm
not
saying
quite,
is that yes, bigger can be better, but when they're these really tall mega ships like you talking about Icon,
Yeah.
I think those were designed specifically for the Caribbean and the seas that we have here, versus going out on a normal day in New Zealand. Oh, look, we have 10 to 15 footers. That ship is able to handle it because it was designed more for those.
No, has nothing to do
No?
with that. No, what
Nothing at all.
it does have to do with is those particular ports in New Zealand, and a lot of ports just can't handle a
Oh, they
cruise ship
can't handle
that
the
big,
big
and
ones.
they're
Okay.
not big fans. Okay, so we went into one city, for instance. I mean, there's some, we've talked about this on the World of Boating. A lot of cities around the world or countries are kind of down on the cruise ship stuff. There was one town in New Zealand that we came to, and we walked into the town, a very small area, but they brought us in. It was nice. And there
Tourists
was
go home.
yeah, there was a thing on the on the windows like there's nothing good about a cruise ship. Like, get the hell out of Dodge. We're like, okay, well, guess we ain't gonna get our coffee here.
No.
But I mean, but overall, everybody was super friendly in New Zealand, and tourism's like their top one of their top 3 things that they do, and they need tourism. So it's a catch-22. They've limited a lot of what the cruise lines can do. There can be only like 2 cruise ships in a port, or at any given time. So I don't know. Depending on how you come down on that, depends on how you feel.
Well, it's the same
about
with
it.
everything out. As long as you don't overfish the waters,
Right.
fishing can be for everyone. As long
Yeah.
as you don't overdo things.
Yeah,
And I
but,
guess
but
that's
the
what
only
they're trying-
reason the Icon of the Seas isn't there is because they don't want it. They
They don't want it?
They
Okay.
don't want something that big, and so they make sure the ports can't handle something that massive. So
Makes
they're
sense.
limited to where they can go. But like I said, to each his own, and it's you're a boater if you go on a cruise ship. Sorry, Barry, don't even go there.
You're
on
a
that
passenger.
note, we are going to wrap it up for this week. Till next time, remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab!
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.